Let's look at hit number 2 from April the 10th by the Red Triangle Record Company. This is in Palestine itself. I've got 2 videos for you. One of them is from the Al-Quds Brigades, so basically from the PIJ, Palestinian Islamic Jihad, and then I've got another one for you from the Qassam Brigades from Hamas. As I've said before, this footage that we get out of Gaza is remarkable in many ways, because whatever side you're on, again, if there is such a thing, you cannot look at this and then say this is not good combat journalism. It is, objectively speaking, I mean, it's never seen before, honestly. Let's begin with the first one. So you can see they're setting up a booby trap, and the editing is phenomenal, because 1 second you've got the resistance fighter, and then it cuts to the exact same spot with the Israelis walking into the trap. Right, so it says in Arabic here that one of them is trying to get up, and then he gets sniped. So you can see they're setting up a booby trap, and the editing is phenomenal, because 1 second you've got the resistance fighter, and then it cuts to the exact same spot with the Israelis walking into the trap. Right, so it says in Arabic here that one of them is trying to get up, and then he gets sniped. And it says here the sound of the Israelis yelling, screaming. Yeah, and now they're running away. Do you see how he looks into the camera like some grinning idiot? One that's been had. This is another spectacular bit, because once again, the filming, it's like an action movie. And when I say an action movie, I literally mean like filming an action movie. You've got multiple camera angles of the same event. I mean, how often do you have something like this in a combat zone? Never. It's happened before. I've seen it, but it's not the first time. But it is, in this war, the first time I've seen the same thing filmed. And actually, in Syria, you had one event that was filmed by both sides. You had from the Syrian army a camera crew, and then from Al Qaeda, which is even more uncommon. Anyway, without further ado, you can. You see, the tank is going over a mine or an IED. There it is, the same moment, captured from both angles. Yeah, so this is, again, back to the first scene, how they're trying to drag one of them away. Now, the Israelis claim that... Yeah, and now they're withdrawing. The Israelis claim now, you've seen this clip. They claim they've only lost 200 and, what was it, 65 soldiers, something like that, or 56. The Israelis will lie about pretty much everything. So any army in the world, we have to say here, any army in the world is going to inflate its victories and deflate its losses. So I've no doubt that Israelis are doing that too, but 256 is not deflating the losses. That's just lying. That's straight up lying. There's a difference between saying, you know, I lost 380 instead of 400, and then saying I lost 260 instead of 2,000 or 3,000 or 4,000 or more. I don't know what the real number is. I really don't. But I can guarantee you it is not 265. I will sign that on a piece of paper. It is not 265. That is a lie. You know, the Israelis have so many wounded, and the proportion, the ratio just doesn't work out. Because usually for that number of wounded, you must have a higher kill count. And I've told you this before. The math doesn't add up. Anyway, I just thought to mention that again because of how ridiculous this is. But meanwhile, you know, going back to Hania, the Israelis are very good at murdering, you know, the grandchildren of Hamas leaders. That they're very good at. But fighting man to man, you get this result. You get this idiot grinning into the lens. Right? That's the difference. This is the Israelis when they're murdering children, and this is when they have to fight man to man. They don't stack up too well, do they? They're not as tough or as hard as they make themselves out to be, are they? Let me show you another clip. Now, this one is from the Quds brigades. Yeah, you'll forgive me. I have to keep it down because of the copyright. But they're focusing on armored units, and people often forget that you have other brigades in Gaza. They think it's just Qassam brigades and Hamas, and it's a very, again, it's a very ignorant thing that they do in the media. I mean, you've also got PFLP fighting in Gaza. You've got so many factions, Palestinian factions. And it's a very here with the RPG, just going back to the footage. I'll just remind you, because you have some people who don't like this. And I understand. I completely understand. I'm the first one to say that war is bad. I'm the first one. But I know my history. And I know that the Palestinians signed the Oslo Accords. And Israel violated the Oslo Accords. They built more settlements. They refused to release prisoners, like those who were given life sentences, but then amnesty. You know, like we had in the Good Friday Agreement in England. We had the Good Friday agreement with the IRA. Even if someone has 11 life sentences, they walk free. No, the Israelis, they killed Walid Daqqa. He died before yesterday because they refused to release him. He should have been out in 1993. Man, I was born in 92. That guy he should have been out since I was born. Instead, he died in prison. And now I'm a man. I mean, what is that? So the Israelis have lied and stolen for 75 years, and people, you know, their patience has ends. It has limits. Even now with Gaza, you got Palestinians living on this tiny strip of land. They're under siege, and then on top of that, what do? They bomb them. I mean, it's like it's too much. This is greediness. It's beyond greedy. It's greed of another kind. It's just evil to put people like that in such a position. I mean, again, the Americans do the same thing. You know, they do the same thing in Iraq and Syria and so on, and they did the same thing to Yemen. They kept arming Saudi, kept giving Saudi, you know, a blank check to do what they want, to starve people in Yemen, and then take their fuel away, which causes the inflation, and then you can't produce anything, and there's no electricity, and you can't even get light above your head when you read. I mean, people have limits to their patience, right? These rednecks in America with their shotguns would be shooting people before they even got to the shores if they were being invaded. You wouldn't even be at the shore. They'd already be shooting at you. But when it comes to the Arabs, oh no, you can't do anything or else you're a terrorist. How dare you defend yourself in your own home, on your own land, with a gun? Only Americans can do that. Only Americans get to have guns and shoot people, right, for no reason. But you can't actually legitimately defend yourself. No, that makes you terrorist. So, you know, people got tired of that game. And that maybe works on Fox News and it maybe works on TV. But in reality, if you come to Palestine, and I'm not talking as a tourist or a student or, you know, a businessman, I'm talking as an invader. If you come to Palestine or Syria or Yemen or Iraq, you will get what is coming. You will get what is yours. You'll get what's coming to you, right? Action, reaction. You don't get to walk into land that doesn't belong to you and start ordering people around and taking their shit. That doesn't work. Maybe it works in movies. It doesn't work in real life.